The NFL on NBC. This afternoon, we're in our nation's capital. We have a slight drizzle, but we are in an absolutely gorgeous stadium. Baltimore and Washington at Jack Kent Cooke Stadium, one of the finest facilities, I think, in the entire world. And as we get set for our game this afternoon, I'm Charlie Jones along with Bob Trumpy. And this stadium is magnificent.
Yeah, it is, and I think for the Baltimore Ravens, the thing they appreciated most about it is it's so close to home. You know, this is a road trip for the Baltimore Ravens, but if you look at a map of the Washington, D.C. area, in fact, it's closer for the Baltimore Ravens to come to Jack Kent Cooke Stadium than it is for the Redskins to come from their practice facility. But as Norv Turner said, it's going to seem like a home game until the Ravens get inside this stadium.
All right, it's the Battle of the Beltway this afternoon. It's truly offense against defense. For the Baltimore Ravens, the #1 passing team in the NFL.
And for the Washington Redskins, the #1 defensive passing team in the NFL. Now, Vinny Testaverde features a 3-wide receiver offense. It is fit perfectly with his personality. He has functioned beautifully. And on the other side of the ball, this is the big matchup today. Seldom in the NFL do you get one-on-one. Darrell Green, Chris Dishman are one-on-one, in-your-face, bump-and-run cornerbacks. They're going to have to do it all day long against those Ravens receivers, and frankly, it's something that they look forward to.
And we look forward to it, too. All right, stay with us. We have a good one for you this afternoon. We'll be back in just a moment with the opening kickoff. Welcome back to Jack Kent Cooke Stadium. This is Norv Turner, the head coach of the Washington Redskins. They will be receiving. They'll be moving on offense, obviously, to start the ball game. That means that Matt Stover is going to be kicking off to either Mark Logan, number 20, or Brian Mitchell, number 30. We are underway in a slight drizzle. We expect rain throughout the afternoon. And here is Brian Mitchell, the outstanding return man across the 20. And he will be stacked up literally at about the 22-yard line. And already we have some extracurricular little pushing and shoving. Early on in the ball game is Gus Frerotte, the quarterback for the Redskins. And he's a mutter. He plays well in this kind of weather.
Yeah, actually, Norv Turner likes the fact that it's raining. He thinks he throws very, very well.
Here's his offensive line.
Outstanding offensive line. Good run blockers, excellent pass protectors. This is an offensive line to be proud of. And the names missing here are more important than who's here. Terry Allen's not here, and they're also missing Westbrook. Leslie Shepard is the replacement.
So the Redskins will start on their own 22-yard line, first down. Play action fake. Far sideline, first down. Henry Eller, the ageless wonder. He's 36 years old. Shades of George Allen.
He doesn't know he's 35 years old.
Let's look at that defense.
Front four, excellent. This week they went back into pads, and Siragusa and Burnett were able to practice all week long. And the defensive backfield, look at these young linebackers they got here. Ray Lewis he's the veteran, but he's younger than the 2 rookies.
Mark the ball at the 38-yard line, first down. Let's see what's on the ground this afternoon. Stephen Davis is going to pick up about 7 yards on the play as he goes out to the 45-yard line. Second down and 3, and the Redskins offense is cranked up and ready to go. James Jones, defensive left tackle, is the man who stopped him.
Now, Ted Marchibroda said his team this week had its best week of practice because everyone was healthy to practice. Siragusa has been practicing 1 day a week. Burnett 1 day a week. Several other players just 1 day a week. So he expects a great deal from this defense today.
Second down. Back to the ground. Davis gets the call. Across the 50, 45 has the angle and goes out of bounds inside the Raven 40-yard line. Stevan Moore took him out of bounds at that spot.
Watch this little move that Davis makes right at the line of scrimmage. Good cutback by Davis. He's the guy replacing Terry. Here's the move right there. Just absolutely froze the defensive back of the Baltimore Ravens right in his tracks. Rondell Jones picks up a nice little chunk of change there. That looked like Terry Allen. A lot like Terry Allen.
Baltimore 37-yard line, opening drive of the ball game. Davis to the right side. Piles his way to the 32-yard line. There's 5. It'll be second down and 5.
Well, now for the Redskins, they are 3-0 here at
Jack Kent Cooke
Stadium.
Yeah, undefeated.
They're calling it the Big Jack. I kind of like.
I like that. I like that.
It is the Big Jack. The check written by Jack Kent Cooke paid for this place by himself. That impresses me. I like that.
80,160. That's not the check. That's the number of people that'll be here. Those big numbers with lots of zeros always. Oh, drop. Oh, my goodness. Leslie Shepard. No. Was it Leslie?
No.
No. In reality, he never drops those. Woo. Yeah, that pass doesn't get any better than that.
That's highly unusual for Henry Ellard. Straight drop back by Gus Frerotte. Excellent pass protection. A deep crossing pattern run by Ellard. It looked to me like he tried to look away just a little bit. Again,
why do receivers? You were a receiver. Why do receivers do that?
You want to try to make a big play. You sense that there's not a guy right on you, and if you catch it cleanly and accelerate, you can score. Henry Ellard's a veteran enough. He knows you can't make that mistake.
4 wide receivers. One-hand grab, no. Jamie Asher, the tight end, tried to pull it down. Herring had the coverage on him.
Well, we've already
go back to that drop pass by
Henry Ellard.
And
we've already got a choice here by North Turner to the. He's sending the offense out to go for it on 4th down. But they got to hurry.
Shot is 4th down and 5.
They got to hurry. It took him a long time to get the personnel on the field there, the right personnel on the field that he wanted there, so he's got to get right to the line of scrimmage.
4 wide receivers.
Uncovered. Out here, uncovered.
Oh. Incomplete.
Oh, my goodness. Jamie Asher, the tight end, flanks out. North Turner's looking. He was uncovered, and Gus Frerotte could not make the completion. If he catches it standing up, he walks into the end zone.
The Redskins, in reality, stopped themselves on their opening drive. We have no score. When we come back, the Ravens will have the football.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By the 1998 Honda Accord, an Accord like no other. By UPS, the official package delivery company of the NFL. And by the Edge Pizza, new from Pizza Hut. Have you been to the Edge?
This is Charlie Jones and Bob Trumpy. Ravens on offense for the first time in the ball game. They take over on downs. They start from their own 32-yard line. We have no score in the ball game. We start in the ground with Bam Morris. Let's look at that offensive set of Baltimore.
Very, very strong, young offensive line. This guy is going to be a Hall of Famer. Jonathan Ogden, first year at tackle, was a starter 30 seconds after the Baltimore Ravens drafted him. The backs and receivers, Bam Morris has to have a big day at running back. He has to have a big day, and there you see the 3 wide receivers set. And we have an injury to a Washington Redskin defensive lineman.
Jamal Duff being assisted off. Now, Kennard Lang, the rookie at that defensive left end spot, is inactive for this game, and so all of a sudden they've lost another man in that defensive line.
And of course Sean Gilbert is sitting in Pittsburgh, so yeah, they're very thin at defensive line. And against this 3 wide receiver set, they had a specific defense they were going to run to include Ken Harvey, the outside linebacker, as a 4th defensive lineman as a pass rusher. Well, they've already had to make an adjustment.
Redskins susceptible to the run?
Have been all season.
2nd down and 5. That's enough for the first down. 7 yards on the play. Bam Morris again, just exactly what the Redskins expected. He would run between the tackles where he's been so effective.
And this front by the Washington Redskins not stopped anybody running the ball, but excellent linebackers. And of course the strength of this defense is upcoming. The defensive backfield, Dishman and Darrell Green in tandem, the 2 best bump and run corners there are in the game today.
Baltimore at their own 45-yard line. 1st down. No score in the ball game in case you're just joining us. Opening drive of the Redskins, very effective, but they self-destructed at the end. Timing pattern down the sideline is caught by Jermaine Lewis. Lewis, who has been really outstanding for the Ravens, finally caught by Darrell Pound.
Now, Charlie, we mentioned those two bump and run cornerbacks, Dishman and Green. In the slot is the Ravens' fastest player, Jermaine Lewis, and Darryl Pound is the guy who's going to have him all day long. First time they throw it to Jermaine Lewis, an excellent throw by Testaverde. And Lewis, with his great speed, gets by Pound for a big pickup.
39 yards. 16-yard line to Washington, first down. Back to the ground. Not a lot there for Bam Moore. Darryl Pounds, who was hurt a moment ago with the pass that got over his head, makes the tackle here at the 13-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Actually, Bam doesn't have to gain a lot of yards. He has to be a threat to run the ball consistently.
3 carries, 16 yards thus far. And that's what he's done on the season. Second and 7. Right on target again. Into the end zone. Touchdown for the Ravens. This is Derek Alexander with his 6th touchdown of the year. He beat Marcus Patton, the middle linebacker. Opening drive for the Ravens. 13 yards on the touchdown.
Now, Charlie, here's the problem that the Redskins face. They have had 26 snaps so far this season facing a 3 wide receiver set. Today, they will face 60 to 65 snaps. Every snap the Ravens on offense have is going to be in the 3 wide receiver set. That they beat a zone. Excellent crossing pattern. Nice throw. Touchdown, Ravens.
And Matt Stover adds the extra point. Baltimore moves on top by a score of 7-0 with 9:54. That is the time remaining. We're in the first quarter. Vinny Testaverde has the start of a perfect afternoon. Well, for the Baltimore Ravens, they are off to a very impressive start.
And, of course, last week against Miami, they struggled terribly, and we're down 21-3, so that is a great start. That also happens to be for Vinny Testaverde, his 15th touchdown pass of the season. And this 3 wide receiver offense has worked. And look at there, just the 3rd touchdown pass allowed by this #1 pass defense in the NFL. Not the way Norv Turner hoped his team would start.
Mark Logan and Brian Mitchell are the deep backs. Mitchell, of course, is the return man. Logan basically is there to block for him. At the 1-yard line. Great shot up the middle. To the 30. To the 40. Keeps it going. No! Saved at the last moment. Rondell Jones reached out and grabbed just a piece of the jersey. What a great return, 61 yards. Redskins are right back in the ballgame.
Yeah, you hope you have a return guy like this. I mean, you pray you have a return guy like this. Mitchell at 200 and close to 20 pounds has the speed of a 160 or 70 pounder. Is very comfortable returning kicks, and that's that veteran atmosphere you want on your football team. They score. We need to get big play. Brian Mitchell gets it for him.
Rondell doesn't get the big play for the Ravens. There's 6 points. And you're looking right at a tie. Davis to the left side. He's to the 30. Inside the 30, 25-yard line. He'll go out at the 26-yard line. Gain of 13. Langham takes him out. First down, Redskins.
What a godsend Davis has been for the Redskins. When Terry Allen got hurt, they weren't sure what this young man could do, but they have quickly found out. He's not Terry Allen. He loses his right shoe and continues to gain yards. He's a bigger version of Terry Allen and gaining a lot more confidence each game he starts and plays.
Brian Mitchell now the tailback. Larry Bowie is the fullback. Here is Mitchell at that great return. Go ahead, pick up a yard. 25-yard line. Second down and 9. Rob Burnett stacks him up. Gus Frerotte, by the way, thus far 1 of 4 for 16 yards. Last 3 straight incompletions. That's deceptive, though, because Ellard really should have had that.
One was a drop, and the open receiver, Jamie Asher, out here on the sideline was uncovered. That was a bad throw by Gus Frerotte. They need to get him off on the right foot. A 1-4 start, not good.
Second down and 9. Play action fake. Rolling left, throwing back underneath the coverage. Pass is complete to the fullback, Larry Boy, and he is taken out of bounds inside the 20-yard line by Deron Jenkins.
Charlie, I'll make this comment about this Redskins offense. With Norv Turner as the head coach, it will be, if nothing else, diverse. He puts a great deal in for every team they play. Tries to exploit a defense's weakness. A young man moves his quarterback around. A good mix, a very difficult offense to prepare for week in and week out.
3rd down and 2. Two great moves by Davis. The moves will take him to the 15-yard line. That's enough for the first down. Ray Lewis, the leading tackler, middle linebacker for the Ravens, stops him at that point. It is a first down.
And Charlie, again, just an outstanding move to get by Kim Herring, number 20. Again, watch this move. Whoop, right inside number 20. Excellent job of 1, hanging on to the football. 2, avoiding that first tackler.
For Davis, 5 carries, 46 yards. That's a 9-yard average. First down, 15-yard line. Redskins behind 7-0. This time Davis stacked up at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Will Perrott then be throwing on 2nd down?
I think you got to hold off on that a little bit, Charlie, only because the Ravens' choice here in this series has been to blitz. This time Rondell Jones, 31, again, right up at the line of scrimmage. So you got to be careful. I think they have run enough for a play action to work here.
They show a running formation.
Lots of motion.
Now they show motion out of it. 3-step drop, pump fake. Oh, fade in the corner. On target. Touchdown, Redskins.
That was a thing of beauty.
Leslie Shepard, his 4th touchdown of the year.
A slant and up. Watch this. He takes that step inside. No, it's an up. Oh, he does an excellent job. Antonio Langham, 38, gets by with a hold. Perfect throw by Gus Perrott. Washington in the end zone. And that's a nice move and a great throw for the score.
Scott Blanton with the point after. It is good. The Redskins come from behind. We are tied at 7. 6:45 time remaining in the first quarter. This is the NFL on NBC.
On Gus Perrott. Norv Turner wanted a quick start for his young quarterback. Said he throws the ball very well in the rain. You can see how important he is. In 4 wins, 7 and 2 touchdowns to interceptions. And in their losses, the opposite numbers, 3 and 7. All set up by Brian Mitchell's big kickoff return. A response to the drive by the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, that's a hard-working club. They understand that you got to match a score with a score, Charlie.
Brian Mitchell's 61-yard kickoff return, setting the whole thing up. Now let's see if Jermaine Lewis or Jay Graham can counter for the Ravens. We're tied at 7. Short kick, fumble, scramble void. Ball is still loose. And Baltimore is finally going to come up with it.
Charlie, it looked to me like Tyrus McCloud was the upback who tried to make the catch. He is a linebacker. He should defer. Get out of the way. Don't try to catch it. The Ravens very fortunate to keep the ball.
The players behind you with those low numbers, that's what they're there for.
Son, you tape your hands and wear lots of pads because you can't decide which end of the ball to catch. Stay out of the way.
Spot the ball at the Raven 22-yard line. They have a first down. We're tied 7-7. Back to running between the tackles. Bam Morris off to the left.
This offense presents problems for everybody in the NFL that the Ravens play because it's now the only offense in the NFL where it's a 3 wide receiver set on everything but goal line and short yardage. There's Don Strock, He's kind of the architect of it with Ted Marchibroda, calls the plays, and has had that connection with Testaverde like he had with Dan Marino when he was Marino's backup down in Miami.
Second down 5. More of the same. Van Morris will kill up about a yard shy of the first down. And the Ravens will just keep pounding you and pounding you like this until that secondary steps up a little and steps up a little, and they'll go deep and burn you just like they did in their first drive.
Or Van Morris wears out. Now, everyone knows about his suspension for the first 4 games. My feeling is he's still in training camp. I don't think Van Morris can carry the ball 25 times in the game yet. He's not in terrible shape, but he's not in give me the ball 25 or 30 times during the game kind of shape. He's got to take a few rests on the sideline.
Well, last week he rushed for only 54 yards.
And he looked leg weary. He really did.
As you see, shy by the length of the football. So mark it 3rd down and a foot. Ball game tied at 7 with 5:38 time remaining in the first period. Baltimore scoring first, stopping the Redskins. A 68-yard drive in 5 plays. Testaverde to Alexander for the touchdown. Mitchell came back with a 61-yard kickoff return for the Redskins, and then Farrat to Shepard from 15 yards out, capping their drive of 39 yards.
Third and short. Look, 2 tight ends and 2 running backs in the backfield.
Quarterback sneak. Needing only a foot, and Vinny looks as if he got it.
There's Ted Marchibroda on the sideline. Used to coach here, not here, but used to coach for the Washington Redskins. Actually, Teddy's coached just about everywhere. I mean, you can't think of a city where he's not coached or a team for which he's not coached. A great man with young people for his age. Great quarterback teacher.
Upset with his ball club last week. Had him in pads this week. Middle of the season pads. That's semi-rare, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Here's reverse. Jermaine Lewis gets part of the corner in about 6 yards. That was not near as difficult as his search for tickets. He lives about 10 minutes from the stadium. The ball players each get 6 tickets, and he was going from player to player. I need your tickets. I need your tickets.
One of the things that Baltimore likes to do is get the ball in the hands of Jermaine Lewis as many times as possible, as many different ways as possible. And a reverse with his speed generally works.
2nd and 4, 39-yard line. Back to Van Morris. Again, the same situation as we had a moment ago. He'll come up about a foot shy of the first down.
But you don't mind that. You're putting an awful lot of pressure on this defense that has a 5th defensive back in the ball game. That's the Redskins defense. So when you've got that 5th defensive back, you put this 245-pound sledgehammer at him. As long as you can keep him fresh, yeah, you can do a lot of damage with Van Morris against that nickel defense that most teams choose to run against the Ravens.
Same situation a moment ago, quarterback sneak. Here, do you fake it?
Nah.
Go deep?
No.
Just pick up the first down. Easy first down for Van Morris. Nice hole right over the middle. Redskin territory, Washington 48-yard line. Stanley Richard with the tackle.
Charlie, I want to tell you, the Ravens, they have an excellent offensive line. I mean, outstanding. All big, all very strong. They don't do a lot of sophisticated things. And it was also a very strong lead block by Kenyon Cotton, number 23, to just spring Van Morris loose.
48-yard line. Van Morris again to the 42-yard line. That's 6, 2nd down and 4. In this drive, it was 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4, and now 2nd and 4 again.
Sure, and you see the effect again, Charlie, of the 3 wide receiver offense. It spreads the defense out, and you just run the ball up the middle. The defense is basically a big hat short. That is a linebacker replaced by a defensive back.
42-yard line, 2nd down 4. 4 wide receivers on this set. Nothing changes up the middle. Bam Morris gets the call again. Close to the first down.
All right, Charlie, now look at this very closely, what the Baltimore Ravens do. This is Eric Green. This is the middle linebacker, Marcus Patton. 4-man front, 1 linebacker, and the safety has to come up to help on the tackle. That's what the Ravens are doing by spreading out 4 guys. So on this particular snap, Redskins are 2 men short, and the safety has to come up and help stop Bam Morris, but he picks up a first down again.
38-yard line, first down, Redskin territory. Ball game tied at 7. 1:40 and counting, time remaining first quarter. Play action fake, not that big a fake, steps away, scrambles a bit, runs to his left, goes to the outside. He'll pick up, maybe 3 yards. Let's see where they mark him out of bounds.
In the locker room.
Marcus Patton was the defender there.
Look at here. Comes in as a #1 passing team, but they've got 12 rushes and just 2 passes to this point.
And of the 12 rushes, Bam Morris has 9 for 48 yards.
So the chess game, what to prepare for in this game, has worked so far for Don Strock and the Ravens and against Mike Nolan and the Redskins.
Bam Morris again, second down and 7. I think our numbers are wrong. I can't remember anybody carrying the ball besides Bam. Well, Vinny did.
Yeah. Well, now Baltimore again has found a formation. Again, they had Eric Green, the big tight end, 86, flanked way out wide, takes the middle linebacker out, and they run a trap up the middle for another 3 or 4 yards.
Now, in this drive, they've had 3rd down and a foot, 3rd down and a foot. This time they have 3rd down and 5. You look for him to throw here.
Well, no, the numbers defensively say run. 5 DBs again.
3 wide receivers, 1 back. Testaverde to throw. Blitz coming up the middle. Picked up. Has time. Almost intercepted. Ken Harvey almost picked it off.
Charlie did double duty. The primary receiver on that play was the tight end, Eric Green. You're going to see Eric Green release. Watch what Ken Harvey does to him. Knocks him to the ground and then also makes the almost interception. So he gets a double dose there. Knocks the primary receiver down and almost comes up with the interception.
4th down and 5. They're going for it. Just like the Redskins did in their opening drive. Over the middle, sliding grab by Michael Jackson. It is there for the first down, converting on 4th down and 5. He beat Jesse Campbell across the middle.
Oh, you think these guys don't have confidence in each other? My goodness gracious.
That's the #1 passing attack in the NFL.
Absolutely. Here's the tight end over here. They got everybody over here. They isolate the slant. He gets inside Dishman. A good throw by Vinny Testaverde. A good sharp pattern run by Michael Jackson for the 4th down conversion. Nothing to it, Ted Marchibroda says.
And with that play, we come to the end of the first quarter. And after 1, we are tied at 7. The Ravens are on the move. Back in a moment. All right, we are back as we begin the second period in a ball game that is tied. And a 68-yard touchdown drive by the Ravens, a 39-yard touchdown drive by the Redskins that was set up by Mitchell's 61-yard kickoff return. And now the Ravens are cranking it up again.
Yeah, I think the Baltimore Ravens sideline celebrating somewhat because they've now established to the Washington Redskins just what a diverse offense they have. With the spread formation, they're able to really move the Washington Redskins defense all over the field, which opens up nicely for Bam Morris up the middle.
Also dominating time of possession. First quarter, Baltimore 9.5 minutes. Washington 5.5 minutes. Current drive, 12 plays, 55 yards. First down at the 23. Testaverde to throw. 3-step drop over the middle, right on target. He goes to Jermaine Lewis. He's brought down by Campbell and Pound as we go to New York for an update. Greg?
All right, Charlie, at St. Louis, the St. Louis Rams, 10 quarters without an offensive touchdown. Not anymore. Tony Banks, 13 yards to Isaac Bruce, and with the extra point, the Rams with the lead over the Chiefs in the Battle of Missouri, 7-3. Charlie?
All right, thank you, Greg. We are tied here in our nation's capital. It's 2nd down and a yard. 14-yard line, Van Morris. Hole wasn't there. A stutter step. He waited for it to open. Still picked up a couple of yards. Should have the first down as he goes to the 12-yard line.
As an offense, when you can just get it medium-sized chunks, and as you've documented, Charlie, come up again with those 3rd and shorts and 2nd and shorts. For an offensive coordinator, for everybody on the Ravens side of the ball, it's fun. Yeah, this is easy work.
Testaverde, 4 of 5, 71 yards and a touchdown. 3 wide receivers. Does he throw the fade here? No, they go to Van Morris. He goes to the outside, then cuts back inside the 5 to the 3-yard line. Stanley Richard finally stops him. He makes it look easy, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, and won the blocking up front, too, by alignment. Again, defense all stretched out. Middle linebacker's got to get all the way over there to make the tackle or assist on the tackle. Good job by the guys up front. And again, as long as Morris stays fresh, that running game is a threat. The Redskins are going to have a busy day defensively.
2nd down, 3-yard line. Van Morris starts flag down, another flag down. Started to the right, slipped as he came back down at the 4-yard line. Mark Boutte is there to cover him, and we'll check out the flags. Am I right? First flags of the ball game?
I believe you're right.
Number 63 in the offense. 10 yards.
Wally Williams, the center, call for the hold. Dale Hammer, our referee this afternoon.
Williams coming back from that Achilles surgery. Here is the center. He's on Mark Boutte, number 93, trying to get around in front. Oh, he grabs the left ankle. And then Boutte kicks the running back down, leg whips Van Morris to the ground.
Never see that, do we? 2nd down, 12. Testaverde from the pocket just shovels it out in front. He was out of time. Van Morris was waiting. Hasn't dropped by the defense of the Redskins, but it was Chris Morris who was right in the face of Vin Testaverde.
Excellent job done by Testaverde. Decent pressure up front by the Redskins, something they have not done very well this season at all.
Testaverde has been renewed in Baltimore.
Oh, yeah, no question about it. But Mims right in his face. Testaverde big and strong. Still able to get the ball off.
10-yard line. Ernest Biner is now the remaining back. 3 wide receivers. He's there to block. He does. Testaverde rolls right. Sets. He's at the line of scrimmage. You got to make him down the sideline out of bounds. A little hesitation. He wanted to wait. He was running out of space. Then decided, well, it's too late now. Let's go down the sideline and see what we can get.
Yeah, again, he throws a defensive lineman from the Redskins, Mark Boutte. Nice move, Vinny Testaverde. Marchibroda has to make the choice. Do we go for it here
or go for the field goal? I think he'd go for it.
I think he's going to take a timeout and think about it. I saw him better. I saw him motion for a timeout.
You're right. They have given them the timeout with 11:46 left to go. We're in the 2nd quarter. We are tied at 7. The Ravens are right at the brink, and now they said no. They are bringing the timeout back, and the trainers are going out on the field for the Redskins, so somebody thinks they have a timeout.
Well, Charlie, I think what happened is that there was a motion for a timeout, but the officials want to measure to inform the Ravens of just how close it is. And
for their discussion.
Yeah. And so you're right. It's an official's timeout to move the ball out to the middle of the field, and I don't believe the Ravens were charged with the timeout.
Well, anytime we hear that magic music in our earphones, we think we're going away to commercial, and somebody's called a timeout. We're like Pavlov's dog. Hey.
Charlie, I knew that a long time ago. You just coming to that conclusion?
Oh, no. I just thought I'd mention it this afternoon.
Agreed. So far on offense, Ted Marchibroda is seeing the absolute best. His Baltimore Ravens have functioned, and this is Norv Turner's worst nightmare. Just giving your opponent so many opportunities.
Fourth down, and as you saw with the measurement, about that long, which is basically a foot and a half. Bam Morris has 12 carries for 61 yards. Fourth down, less than a yard. Quarterback sneak does not look good for the Ravens. That's that elusive spot that the officials will have to dig out at the bottom of the stack. And there's still a lot of movement going on with that football. I'm surprised at that call.
Well, it worked before. Why not try it again?
No, that is true.
This would be a huge lift for the Washington Redskins. Testaverde right behind the center. No way to judge until the chains get out there whether or not they have the first down.
It's a play like that where the ball is marked that makes this a human sign.
Makes no difference where the ball ends up. It's where they put it on the ground.
That's it.
And that's a guess.
First down by, the nose of the football. Whoa.
Charlie, I'm telling you, this is an impressive drive by the Baltimore Ravens. Started at their own 21, 22-yard line. Spread it all over the field. Have really exposed part of the Washington Redskins' problem so far this season, the inability to stop the run. You gave Bam Morris's rushing numbers there, already 61 yards.
Started back at the Raven 22-yard line. Fumble. Testaverde picks it up. He'll lose yardage back to the 4, where it'll be second down and goal to go. 21 plays already in this drive.
21 plays in this drive?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 21. 21.
My goodness.
I know. Second down, goal to go, 4-yard line. I added them up again. Bam Morris. Touchdown, Baltimore. His second touchdown of the year, first of the ball game. He went right over Mark Boutte.
That was a drive. Again, now look what they've done, Charlie. 4 wide receivers. This is Eric Green. There's only 1 linebacker there. So you've got 5 blocking 5. And the Ravens have won that battle every time they've gotten that spot. Bam Morris for the score.
Dover with the extra point is good. Ravens move on top 14-7 over the Washington Redskins now with 10:23. That is the time remaining in the first half as Bam Morris adds 6 to the total. Follow the NFL season online at NBCSports.com. This week's NFL insider Gil Brandt previews the field for Rookie of the Year honors. Who do you like in Rookie of the Year?
Finish this promo and I'll give you.
And points out the biggest plays of the season. Any call on the biggest plays of the season? No. Plus, this week's poll asks, who looks like Coach of the Year? Okay, now those are the questions proposed to Bob Trumpy. Coach of the Year, biggest play, and Rookie of the Year. It's all on NBCSports.com. But you don't have to wait. Bob Trumpy has his thoughts.
I'm trying to think of the Rookie of the Year. Too early to tell. Too early to tell.
Coach of the Year.
Look at 20 plays, 78 yards, 11 minutes. That's a thing of beauty.
I missed by 2.
That is a thing of beauty.
Mark Logan, Brian Mitchell are the return men. Mitchell did it earlier with a 61-yard kickoff return. Has another good one out near the 35-yard line. 10-12. Time remaining, second quarter. Back in a moment.
On NBC NBC is brought to you by Century by Buick. Discover a little luxury in this century. By AT&T, it's all within your reach. By Frost Brewed Coors Light, who reminds you the three most important words are, "Hey there, man." And by American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more.
Welcome back to Washington. Redskins trail 14-7. Norv Turner, the head coach of the Redskins, their record is 4-3. Stephen Davis, just for a couple of yards. Time of possession way on the side of the Ravens. 14 minutes plus, 14-11, and Washington has had the ball only 5.5. Not quite 3-1, but it's getting into that neighborhood. So that means Gus Ferrantfield, he's got to score every time he has the ball.
Yeah, and I think Norv Turner understands that completely now, that the rushing defense of the Redskins has failed again. The Ravens have found a way to spread it thin, stretch it like a rubber band, and break it. So now every time the offense goes on the field for the Redskins, they got to think touchdown.
Ravens shows 6 men on the defensive line of scrimmage. They are all coming. Pressures their pass is incomplete. It will be 3rd down and 8.
There was just enough pressure from Cornell Brown, 51, that Barat could not follow through. And it's going to be a simple out pattern, but watch 51 come here and just put enough pressure on Barat that he can't really follow through on the throw. They try to block the linebacker with a running back. The running back is just shot right back in Barat's face. Can't make the completion. And of course, the fans here boo the quarterback. Not his fault, but they boo the quarterback.
Redskins operating without Terry Allen, without Michael Westbrook today. Brock will be sacked. Runs at the 33-yard line.
More importantly, 3 downs and out for the Redskins offense. Boulware, the rookie, missed most of camp, and he puts the pressure on. He was a defensive end and linebacker. They're in defensive end in college. They're trying to make him a linebacker. That was an excellent job to get Barat on the ground. 3 downs and out now for the Redskins.
He and Michael McCrary teamed up on the sack. So Matt Turk will kick it away. His brother Dan is the snapper. Jermaine Lewis, dangerous return man. High does not turn over. Fair catch is called for and taken on the run at the 31-yard line. Ravens lead it 14-7.
3 times this postseason, these underdogs have had to win when it counts. Now it's all on the line again. The Florida Marlins. Can the team with the best home record in baseball win one more and capture the World Championship? A do-or-die World Series Game 7. Tonight, following football on NBC.
This is Charlie Jones and Bob Trumpy. You mentioned 3 and out, 3 plays, 2 yards time. 1:29.
Yeah, that's 1 minute, 29 seconds worth of rest for the defense. Plays run 27-17. Baltimore at this point in complete control.
Bam Moore is also in complete control. He has the 1st down. He will cross the 40-yard line. They will give him his momentum to the 41. He picks up 11 more yards. That runs his total to 76 yards in 14 carries. He has the touchdown. Dishman finally stopped him.
Yeah, well, the positive of those numbers you gave, Charlie, is the 76 yards. The 14 carries would begin to concern me a little bit.
He has 45 carries coming into the ball game. This would be his 4th game since he's come back, so he's averaging about 15 a ball game. So he has his average now. We still have more than 8 minutes to go, 2nd quarter.
Yeah, Redskins' only hope is that Bam Morris is worn out in the 1st half, not a factor in the 2nd half.
Here he comes again. He's not showing tired now, is he? The tank is still full.
And this is all related to that last 20-play drive by the Ravens. This Washington Redskins defense did not even get a chance to catch its breath. And when offensive linemen recognize and realize there's a tired guy in front of me, and they just make it awful on you.
17 yards on that play. He's up now to 93 yards already.
This is exactly what Norv Turner worried about, that the Ravens would just run over his defensive front 4.
Back-to-back 1st down. 3 in a row. He's going to do it again. 3 touchdowns in a row, 30-yard line, 12 more yards. He's over 100 yards as we go to Greg Gumbel in New York. Greg.
All right, Charlie. The Giants with a 10-7 lead, and then on the ever-popular ensuing kickoff, Eric Bieniemy, watch this tackle attempt by Brad DeLuiso that you don't exactly write home about. 102-yard kickoff return sets a Cincinnati franchise record, and the Bengals regain the lead, 14-10 over the Giants in the second quarter, Charlie.
Thank you. The Bengals, they need a spark, don't they, Rob? They really need to get something going.
Anything.
And that might be the spark.
They take an ember.
Van Moore stopped at the line of scrimmage. Almost a standing ovation from the crowd.
Well, he also coughed the ball up. They thought maybe he might have recovered the fumble. Bam fumbled last week against Miami, and it really hurt Baltimore's chances. But the Redskins now have to almost forget about the 3 wide receiver package. They have to commit the 7th and 8th guy in there to stop the run, Charlie, or they're just going to get steamrolled.
Van Moore is now 104 yards, 17 carries. Testaverde being chased. He's throwing it away. He was throwing it away. I was watching Van Moore. Not a very good blocker. Didn't pick up the blitzer at all.
No, but actually, that's a positive for the Baltimore Ravens. This sounds ridiculous because he threw it away, but the Redskins came with a 7-man blitz, and they didn't get the sack. And again, the breakdown, 23 rushes, 7 passes. The Ravens came in as the #1 passing team in the NFL.
Ernest Biner, now the tailback in this set. 3 wide receivers. 3rd down, 11. Testaverde, a 60% passer this year. Puts a little touch on it. Incomplete. Jermaine Lewis went up for it. Couldn't come down with it. Testaverde right on target between 2 defenders. It was a nice throw. Very difficult catch, particularly in the race.
Watching, he's looking left, then comes back to the right. He's hoping to influence the free safety, Stanley Richard, 24. Richard didn't buy it. Rondell Jones on the outside. And again, as many times as they can get the ball to Jermaine Lewis,
Darryl Pounds.
They're going to try. Excuse me, was Darryl Pounds. I apologize.
That's all right.
Yep.
Don't worry. Field goal attempt. Matt Stover has hit 17 of 18, leading scorer in the AFC. This will be from the 39-yard line, a 49-yard attempt. High snap. It is down. It's not going to make it. So Stover is short from 49 yards away. Maybe the rain. We'll be back in a moment.
Game 2 of our NFL on NBC doubleheader. The Jaguars, the Steelers. Mark Brunell leads Jacksonville against Cordell Stewart and Pittsburgh in this fight for first in the AFC Central. Or Napoleon Kaufman and the Raiders face the Seahawks. Or regional action, the NFL on NBC next.
This is Charlie Jones and Bob Trumpy. 5:40 time remaining second quarter. Redskins have the ball. Trailed by 7. How crucial is this drive?
It's seldom with just 7 points behind second quarter, a team faces a key drive. This, for the Redskins, is a key drive.
Drop, play action fake, has a man deep. He goes, has a step from the defender, overthrows him. Leslie Shepard got behind the defense of the Ravens, Herring and Langham, but Farad missed him by, maybe 3 feet.
Well, but you know, this is an excellent pattern run by Shepard. I think I'd put my hands up and give it a shot. He outruns Langham. Ball thrown. It could have been a little higher arched. Give him a little chance. I think I'd give it a shot, though.
Yep.
Try to make the catch. This isn't overthrown that much. Stick your hands out there. You know, maybe you'll get lucky.
2nd and 10. Davis dropped for a loss. Next Saturday, it's the return of the NBC Saturday Trilogy with 3 amazing shows. First, The Pretender is back. Then the newest thrill, Sleepwalkers, followed by the return of Profiler. The NBC Saturday Trilogy returns next Saturday here on NBC.
And Charlie, on a key drive once again now. Last time Redskins had the ball 3 downs and out. Now they face a 3rd and 10.
3rd and 12.
14-7.
Even tougher.
Yeah, 14-7 score is so deceiving at this point.
Last time they had the ball for what, like a minute and a half?
Minute 29 seconds.
Rutt dumps himself underneath the coverage. 4 yards shy of the first down. Jamie Asher, the tight end. Ray Lewis makes the tackle along with Kim Herring.
Well, that's 2 straight
3 and out.
3 and out for the offense. And again, the Redskins defense gets no real rest.
Fourth down, Matt Turk will kick it away. Jermaine Lewis, the dangerous return man for the Ravens. Nice catch. Fair catch is called for. It will go into the end zone for the touchback. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. So once again, the Washington Redskins are stymied. They trail by 7. When we come back, the Ravens will have the ball. They're up 14-7. Last night, Cleveland pitcher Chad O.J. was the unlikely hero at the plate.
And he lines the ball into right field for a base hit. 1-run home. Second man being waved in. The Indians are in front 2-0.
Don't miss the do-or-die World Series Game 7 tonight following football right here on NBC. And by the way, Mike Hargrove, the manager of the Cleveland Indians, happy birthday today. He is 48 years old. And also, are you ready? Happy birthday to Hillary Clinton. Happy birthday to
She's 50?
Big 5-0.
Okay.
That's young. That's young. Baltimore out in front by 7. They start at their own 20-yard line, first down. 7-step drop. Has the man and underthrows him. Eric Green had a step on the defender. Patton, but the pass was underthrown by Vinny Testaverde.
Now you look at the scoreboard, it's 14-7, but look at the possessions today by the Washington Redskins. These 2 include punts. So a minute 29, a minute 33. I mean, it's unbelievable. 2 and 6 yards in the last 2 times they had the ball.
Their touchdown drive was 39 yards in 6 plays, set up by Mitchell's 61-yard kickoff return. Now back to what the Ravens do so well, and that is hand the ball to Van Morris and let him pick up yardage on the ground.
But again, you hope that you don't wear Van Morris out, because the Ravens would like to continue this in the second half. And he's up around 20 carries so far in this first half, already over 100 yards. And when you have the #1 passing game in the NFL, and your running back goes over 100 yards in the first half, things are working your way, Charlie.
But also, the Ravens, with everything going their way, are only up by 7 points. 3rd down and 10. 3 wide. Good protection. Deep has a man. Stutter step. Catches it. Derek Alexander. 1-on-1 with Darrell Green, and he beat him.
Redskins come with a blitz. They rely on their 2 corners. Darrell Green down here at the bottom. Man on man. You're going to see the blitz coming. It's picked up well by the Ravens. And they just allowed Derek Alexander to beat Darrell Green. That doesn't happen often, and it hasn't happened much in 15 years. A perfect throw by Testaverde. First down, Ravens.
At the Washington 46-yard line, 34 yards on the play. Converting on 3rd down and 10. 3-step drop. Fires. Incomplete. Alexander, the intended receiver, and Darrell Green tackle him just as the ball got there. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Charlie, that was an easier catch than the last long one.
For a moment, though, I thought he might have been tackled a bit too soon.
Well, that's all possible, but yes, the ball went into and out of his hands. Straight drop back, simple slant, quick set. There might have been contact.
Darrell was there.
Yeah, Alexander tried to catch it with his body. Didn't work. Here's that formation again now. This is Eric Green, the tight end. Defense empty behind the line of scrimmage.
4 wide receivers. Van Morris will be dropped for a loss.
Jesse Campbell, strong safety, 37, hits the right gap. Linebackers are emptied from the defense. Campbell comes from his strong safety spot to make the tackle. Actually, it's just a lucky guess, and it worked.
Yes, it did. 2-minute warning issued to both pitchers. We'll step aside. We'll be back with the last 2 minutes of the first half in a moment. NBC stations is game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. Mark Brunell and the Jaguars head to Pittsburgh to face Cordell Stewart and the Steelers in a battle for first place in the AFC Central. That's game 2 of our doubleheader, and that is coming up right after our ball game here. And we are setting the stage, of course, for game 7 of the World Series.
You see Ted Marchibroda and the record here, 3-4, looking for a win. The Ravens, their big hated rival is the Pittsburgh Steelers because they used to be the Cleveland Browns.
Matchup later.
But in Baltimore, the fans in Baltimore hate the Redskins. So the Baltimore Ravens had to learn Pittsburgh is not our enemy. The Redskins are our enemy.
Everybody is your enemy this time of year if you're playing in the NFL.
That's true. There's Mike Nolan talking to Norv Turner. I'm trying. We're moving them all over the place. You got to give my defense some rest. We're trying.
They're down and 12. Well, the defense, you're right, has been on the field. We say about the offense, 3 and out, minute and a half, 3 and out, minute and a half. That means the Redskin defense, they are really sucking wind. Showing blitz. This should be a false start against almost everybody of the Ravens with the exception of center. False start, 10 men. He never moved.
False start. Number 69 in the offense. 5 yards. Still third down.
How does that happen? How does the center be the only one that
sometimes you just forget. You got a lot of things to think about. Or the quarterback, Vinny Testaverde, may have called an audible that the center was not, he didn't hear it, or he's thinking about something else. And,
thinking about something else.
Well,
Dinner tonight?
No.
Not now.
That guy across from me is mean. He's got bad breath. He's ugly. Anything.
3rd and 17, a low sliding grab down at the 41-yard line. Derek Alexander pulled it in. Darrell Green covered him immediately. That was 3rd down. Clock moving, 1:43 and counting.
Well, they're going to give him the catch. It's a simple slant again. Gets inside Darrell Green. Good catch.
Montgomery will come in now to kick it away.
And the Redskins defense has stopped the Ravens now twice in a row, but the Redskins offense can do nothing with the ball in their hands to this point.
Something I remembered with that false start, we've had very few blacks today. 3 tops. Pooch kick. Fair catch is called for, and this one will be down at the 2-yard line.
Man, playing with the Ravens football today.
Oh, yeah. James Rowe was there to down it. Coming up at halftime, stay with us. The Domino Pizza NFL on NBC Halftime Report. Joining Greg Gumbel in the studio, Chris Collinsworth and Sam Weitz. They will be updating everything that is going on across the NFL today and setting the scene for the second half of the doubleheader. We'll also have a World Series report on that all-important Game 7 tonight, scores and highlights. So a lot on tap for halftime, so stay with us here on NBC.
And now Norv Turner down 14-7, 1:06 to go in the first half, and he's inside his own 5-yard line. You take no chances here. You do not want to give the Ravens a cheap score. Play it conservative, go in, regroup at halftime.
That's a straight handoff. And a battle to get back to the line of scrimmage for Davis. Ron Moore makes the stop for Baltimore.
Now the Ravens want a timeout. If the Redskins are just going to take 3 dives into the line of scrimmage, maybe they can get decent field position and try for a field goal, something.
I was wondering you might just want to kneel down, too. Just not take any kind of a chance.
Yeah,
but if you do that again and they use the timeout, you're right. The Ravens would have had one more opportunity, at least for a long field goal attempt.
And as a matter of fact, there's an interesting rule in the NFL that if you call for a fair catch, if you call for a fair catch, you can't at the spot where you fair catch it go with a free kick. So
now explain to our viewers what you mean by a free kick.
Well, a free kick is a kick without a tee. So,
and the defender has to be 10 yards away.
10 yards away like it's a kickoff, but it's without a tee. So Ted Marchibroda has been in the league long enough to know, you know, we might be able to just squeeze 3 more points.
That's right.
Out of this first half.
So it's in reality, it's a free field goal attempt because nobody's rushing it. They have to stay 10 yards away. And this is the type of situation that sets it up. And you can forget all about it.
Yeah,
now
so much for that.
Pass to Leslie Shepard. That was interesting, though. Lewis makes the tackle. That will be the first down. The clock will continue to move. Now the Redskins say, hey, we want a timeout. We've got a little something going here.
Just a little something. Just a little something. One completed slant pass is hardly worth celebrating.
Well, then why the timeout?
An interference on the defense. Anything like that. I mean, just like Ted Marchibroda was trying to squeeze 3 points out of it, so is Norv Turner. Try to squeeze something out of this first half.
And even if they aren't able to score, which is looks doubtful at least, if they get something going on with the offense, which was 3 and out the last 2 times with around a minute 29 or a minute 30 in time, then they can go in with a bit of a smile, find something that's working.
Sure. I think Norv Turner has a firm grasp on how difficult his situation his team is in, and Ted Marchibroda knows how completely controlling his team has been so far.
How important is your attitude from a player standpoint at halftime?
Oh, key. Very big.
Barat to throw. Dumps it off underneath. Pass is complete. This is Mitchell. Out may pick up the first down. Brian Mitchell. Hurry up offense for the Washington Redskins. 29 seconds and counting.
And they want to save a timeout, so they're going to go right back to the line of scrimmage.
3 wide receivers split back. Pressure coming. Pass is complete over the middle. Tight end, Jamie Asher. Asher has about 8 yards. Barat was really decked by Peter Boulware. There was not a flag.
Yeah, and Charlie, Boulware was lying on top of Gus Barat, so he couldn't motion for a timeout. And finally, when they dragged the 58 Boulware off of him, Gus Barat was able to call for the timeout. You asked how important the attitude of the players is at halftime, right? When the Redskins go into their locker room at halftime, if it remains this way, 14-7, you've got defensive players grumbling. Come on, you need a long drive to give us a rest. It's going to be a tough day today. You have the offensive guys saying, you know, you stop them, you get us decent field position, we got a chance. So for the team in trouble, which is the Redskins, attitude going into the locker room at halftime is, in some instances, monumental to the way the team is going to play in the second half.
Now the Redskins are trying to do here with 10 seconds left exactly what the Ravens were trying to do. Here they'll go with a long pass. If they get any kind of a defensive penalty, they'll take the ball to the spot of the foul because the half cannot end on a defensive foul. So they'd have another opportunity.
And you look at those numbers, 230 yards, 31 yards, over 100 of that is Bam Morris's rushing.
And look how long you could tell that the Redskins defense has been on the field. Rock goes deep. Just looking for anything. It is incomplete. 1 second left on the clock. No, it clicks down to the 0, turns over, and that is the end of the first half on the long incomplete pass to Leslie Shepard. Stevan Moore had the coverage for the Baltimore Ravens. It is halftime. Baltimore leads 14-7. The NFL on NBC continues as we go to the studio in New York and Greg Gumbel. By a score of 14-7. Now, in case you just joined us, you might think that that is a very close ball game. I'm Charlie Jones with Bob Trumpy. That number is not in any way indicative of the first half.
In fact, I was thinking at halftime, we were talking, I'm not sure I've ever come across a halftime score that was more misleading than this 14-7 lead by the Baltimore Ravens. They have absolutely run over, around, and through the Washington Redskins defense. And the fact that they only lead by 7 should scare Baltimore somewhat and should encourage Washington somewhat, but it's nowhere close to the kind of offense that was played in the first half. The time of possession, 2-1. The yards, 2-1. The first downs, 2-1. No turnovers in the game. Bam Morris is over 100 yards rushing. The play selection, now, another thing to consider is that the Ravens come into this ball game as the #1 passing team in the league. And to this point, Charlie, they frankly not needed it.
No. You are watching, by the way, the Coors Light halftime stat.
There is the play breakdown for the Baltimore Ravens. Again, the #1 passing team in the NFL, 25 rushes, just 13 passes. And, I mean, it's just totally taken the heart and soul out of the Washington Redskins. Their defense stopped them twice in the first half, the last 2 drives of the first half, but so dominated the first portion of the first half that now the Redskins defense is worn out. Now it's up to the Redskins offense in this third quarter to at least, if nothing else, give the defense a rest and then try to hope they can regain some control of this football game, because the Ravens are just killing them.
Another factor, the man that has been killing them is Bam Morris.
Yes.
He has 19 carries. He has only 45 carries on the year. As you mentioned earlier, the 4-game suspension. What kind of shape is he really in? 19 carries in the first half. That's an inordinate amount of carries for someone not in the shape that you should be at the midpoint of the season.
Actually, the cold, rainy weather here in Big Jack Kent Cooke Stadium might help Bam Morris. There is no way in the world he is up to speed in shape like everybody else. They need him because he's the threat to run the ball. You can't put anybody else in there, as you look at his first half numbers, to have the kind of threat that Bam Morris creates for the Ravens on offense and the threat to the Washington Redskins defense. But that's a stat we got to keep very close track of. Also, 19 carries is too many.
I don't think you can tell the Washington Redskins defense that he's tired.
Yeah,
because he's not running tired.
Yeah, they've seen an awful lot of that big number. You know, the one on the back of Bam Morris's jersey.
33. Going that way.
Going
away. Ravens will have the opportunity to have the football at the opening of the second half as the Redskins will kick it away. At the 12-yard line, Jermaine Lewis is the return man. Tries to slip a high tackle, unable to do it. He stopped around the 26-yard line where Baltimore will go to work. Chris Thomas got him for the Redskins.
Charlie, as you see Vinny Testaverde come out on the field, 7 of 13, 120. Vinny was not needed that much in the first half, and I have a feeling that Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator of the Washington Redskins, probably went through a box of chalk trying to design some defense, there he is, to slow down this Ravens 3-receiver offense, give it to Bam Morris up the middle. See what they come up with here.
They show a 4-man front with 3 linebackers. Just a basic defensive set. They stop him after a couple of yards. So that works on the first play.
Now, one of the things I might suggest that may work is that Mike Nolan's defense try not to penetrate the line of scrimmage. Stand up, take on the defensive end, and not try to get up in the gap. And at least then you make Bam Morris go side to side, because as we've watched, I mean, all he's done is go to and through the defensive line of scrimmage. So they got to make him bounce outside somewhere.
Between the offensive tackle.
Here's his formation again. Eric Green at the bottom of the screen. 2 linebackers remain inside.
4 wide receivers. All the time in the world for Testaverde. Buys a little bit more. He just tried a little shovel pass underneath to Lewis. It's incomplete. Coverage good downfield. Ken Harvey was there for the Redskins.
Now you see the adjustment in the first half when Eric Green split wide. There was 1 linebacker in there to stop the run. The adjustment has been they're going to leave 2 linebackers in there and take a chance with the coverage outside. See, there's the 2 middle linebackers. They run a run stunt to try to put pressure on Testaverde and stop the run, and it works. They'll give him this little completion.
Third down, Ernest Biner now the remaining back with 3 wide receivers. Biner better at picking up the blitzer. It's over the middle, incomplete. Quick pressure on Testaverde. Lewis, the intended receiver. Stanley Richards was there. So it's 3 and out for the Ravens.
And I do believe, I can be corrected, I think that's the first time the Ravens have gone 3 and out today.
We have a nodding of heads. Yes.
You're going to see the blitz coming. The pressure from the outside by the Redskins helps. That was Kelvin Kinney on the outside, but the safety also blitzed from the inside.
Greg Montgomery is going to kick to Brian Mitchell. Rain coming down a bit on the heavier side than it was earlier. Takes a Raven roll inside the 30 down at the 29-yard line. When we come back, the Redskins will have the ball for the first time in the second half. They trail by 7. We come back to Jack Kent Cooke Stadium. The rain coming down in a heavier version than it was in the first half. Redskins with their first opportunity in the second half. This is Stephen Davis. Davis will pick up about 3 yards on the play from the 29 to the 32-yard line. It'll be second down and 7.
All right, you see the possessions. Look at this, 43 yards. That was all in the second quarter. Scored on their second possession, but 3 times there were 3 downs and out in this last drive, of course, into the half. So we know one thing. Redskins offense is fresh.
Baltimore defense is also fresh. The blitz coming. Jamie Sharper, the rookie from Virginia. Virginia's all-time leading tackler, the number 2 draft choice, was right there. That's his first sack of the year.
Watch him jump right over the running back as the running back tries to block him. Whoop. Davis ducks his head. Sharper just keeps right on going and brings up the sack. And now the Redskins face a 3rd and 17, at least 3rd and 17.
With the ball back now on the 22-yard line. That's the second sack for the Ravens in the ball game. Redskins show 4 wide receivers. Wider splits at the top of the screen. Watt under pressure, throws, nice throw, but a bit high downfield. Henry Ellard, the intended receiver. It's a pretty good throw.
Yeah, it was. He was slightly pressured, a man right behind him. So again, they go 3 downs and out. Langham 38 in coverage. Ellard pushes him off, crosses. Tough throw, but I mean, in this situation, 14-7, there's pressure applied now to the offense and the quarterback, and it's a little bit more difficult to make those throws.
Jermaine Lewis, the return man for the Ravens. Matt Turk will kick the slippery, wet football away. High snap, pulls it down, gets a good one off. Doesn't turn over. That cost him about 15 yards. Fair catch is called for. Stayed away. Out of bounds. Ravens will have the ball when we come back. This is the NFL on NBC. 30 Eastern time. Bob and I will be back in South Bend for the Notre Dame game against the Midshipmen of Navy as they will travel in to face the Irish. We'll find out if the Irish still have a quarterback controversy going. Audrey Denson, of course, will be running for touchdowns. Then at 5 p.m. Eastern time, Ahmad Rashad hosts the NBA Preview one-on-one analysis of the upcoming season from Bill Walton and Hubie Brown. That's Notre Dame football and the NBA Preview show next Saturday beginning at 1:30 Eastern time here on NBC. Baltimore leading 14-7, 12:29. With just a couple of minutes, 2.5 minutes into the second half, as Bam Morris is upended at the 45-yard line. He has only 2 yards. Stanley Richards was there to nail him. So far, at least, the Redskins have shut down Bam Morris in the second half.
Made the adjustments. You're going to see Stanley Richards come from the free safety spot to just dive down at Bam Morris's knees. That's good. That stops the run. But it also opens up the spot behind Stanley Richard for the pass off the play action.
3 wide receivers. Everybody's creeping up.
Watch the man in the slot.
They show almost a 10-man front.
Watch the man in the slot. The safety's up. There he is.
Excellent coverage by Darryl Powell. Jermaine Lewis, the intended receiver.
Charlie, you can see that entire thing unfold. The safety's cheating up. Vinny Testaverde calls the audible. They try to get Jermaine Lewis down with the free safety gone, but Stanley Richard comes over and assists in knocking the ball away. So you can see the adjustment now that the Redskins have made. They're going to take a chance with the middle of the field. They got to stop the run first.
3rd down and 8. Ernest Biner now the remaining back. 3 wide receivers. Redskins hold. It would be 3 and out for the second time in the ballgame. Testaverde jumps to the outside, throws, and a roll, and it may be enough. The catch is there for Malcolm Jackson. Very alertly knew where he was on the ground. Was not touched down. Rolled forward until he was touched down.
And they allowed the roll.
Of course they do. The roll is there as long as he hadn't been touched down.
Absolutely.
Looks from here as if he's got the first down.
What a big play that would be, because the people surrounding him are veterans. They know that you just can't let anyone roll around on the ground. Actually, Testaverde does a good job here of scrambling and then staying with the receiver, not touched, continues to roll.
There.
Yeah, right there.
Right there. That was the difference.
Yeah.
He rolled for the first down. That's converting on 3rd down and 8. Heads up play.
15-7 in first down. You're right. Heads up play.
Baltimore retains possession. Remember, that was 3rd down and 8. The ball at the Washington 46-yard line. Bam Moore's last 5 carries, just 3 yards. Passing game far side is complete to Michael Jackson. Flags come flying in. Got about 9 yards on the play. Face mask will give him the first down. Baltimore leading it 14-7. Here's the face mask. The microphones may have gone under in the weather that we've had as the rain continues.
Charlie, now here's the adjustment. Again, this is Eric Green, 4 wides, and the choice is now zone. And you're going to see these guys drop off, all right? So you zone, we'll throw the short hitch. This is all the effect of this formation being so good to the Ravens, running the ball in the first half. So the Redskins zone it. And there's the face mask right there. Hand on it by Derek Smith, the rookie. That's the major kind.
15 yards.
And Jackson on the sideline being helped, maybe looking at a contact lens, maybe poked in the eye. Wants to get back quickly.
First down, 22-yard line. Bam Moore's 15-yard line. That's 7 yards. Runs his total now to 115.
Charlie, remember what I said at the top of the show in talking to a couple of the Ravens coaches? They had watched all the tape this season so far of the Washington Redskins defense and said they'd faced 26 snaps of a 3 wide receiver offense. And today he said that they're going to get it 60, 65 times. And the Redskins have not defensed it yet.
2nd down and 3. Safety's creeping up. Safety blitz coming. It's the run blitz to stop Bam Moore's, and it is effective. Chris Mims at the bottom of the pile for the Redskins. Actually, they'll lose a yard back to the 16. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Here's Mims right here, but there's also an assist to Campbell. Kind of gets in there late. There's also a linebacker that shows up late, Greg Jones. But that's kind of, we'll still run it, kind of message to the Washington Redskins.
Bam Morris is offset in the backfield. 3 wide receivers, and open tight end on the left side. And everybody is creeping up for the Redskins. Here comes the pressure. It's picked. Knocked away at the line of scrimmage. Inside jumping pressure from the Redskins.
Good thing it was tipped. Derek Alexander was open on the quick slant.
Matt Stover with a field goal attempt. He was short earlier in the first half from 49 yards away. He'll set up shop at the 24 and attempt at 34 yards. He has hit this year from 49. This one he nails, and it is through the upright from 34 yards away. The Ravens add 3 to their total. They now lead by 10, 17-7. Baltimore up by 10. Brian Mitchell, the return man for the Washington Redskins. He has 3 kickoff returns today for 112 yards. He is averaging just over 37 yards a return. And this is the reason they have that squib kick that goes out of bounds. Now, with the flag, the Redskins will have the ball 30 yards from the spot of the kick. So that means that they will have it at their own 40-yard line.
Ball will put in play 30 yards from the spot of the kick.
I just said that, Dale.
There's an echo in
There's
here.
an echo in here. I'm so proud of Dale. He got it right.
Brian Mitchell wanted a chance. You know, don't kick it out of bounds. Kick it to me. Give me a shot. Come on.
But that's a good spot for the Redskins standpoint.
Sure.
To start at their own 40-yard line.
Great field position. And again, the time of possession, astounding in just 2.5 quarters. Absolutely astounding.
Just over 9 minutes left to go in the third. Baltimore leading it 17-7. Trying to even their record at 4-4. Perrott looks around, short hops it to the receiver, and that's Henry Eller. No good. What effect does this kind of a rain have on a passing game from a quarterback standpoint and from a receiver standpoint?
Actually,
steady, heavy drizzle.
Actually, it shouldn't. The NFL now supplies 36 balls for every football game that's played, so you can certainly keep them dry. That was a very poor mechanics by Gus Perrott that allowed that thing to dive down into the ground.
Second down and 10. And off to Davis. He'll lose some yardage. What about from a receiver standpoint of holding on to a wet ball?
They've developed gloves so they perfected them so that it's fine. But Charlie, again, how many times have we seen in this game the Redskins in 3rd and 10 or more? They try for a pass completion on first down, don't get it. Try for a run on second, don't get it. Faced again with a 3rd and 10 or more. It's happened time after time after time. And you can see the frustration on the face of Norv Turner.
Officially, 3rd down 11. One of the gloves that you were talking about, that's the center. Jeff Ulanate fires. First down and more. Jamie Asher, the tight end. Gus Perrott hit Asher in stride to the 38-yard line of Baltimore. And the crowd finally has something to cheer about after that 23-yard gain. Ray Lewis with the tackle.
Asher is the man in motion. Going to get up the field, just jumps inside the safety, and an excellent throw by Gus Perrott. That'll give him a little confidence. And now just a little bit of offense here from the Redskins. Just a little bit, not a whole bunch.
They mark it at the 39-yard line. Double tied in on the set. First down. Play action fake on first down. Throw to the far side, and it is low again. So it'll be second down and 10. Now do they say keep the same pattern? That was to Eller. Come back and run and then throw on third.
Perrott is a strong-arm quarterback.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for this other than poor mechanics, other than not striding and throwing the ball strongly. It was a good pattern run by Eller, near hash, far sideline. Hostetler is the backup quarterback. You don't want to consider putting him in there. He's not the solution to the problem. You got to get all over Gus Perrott. Say, come on, fire that thing out there.
Second and 10, throwing again. Blitz coming, has to get rid of it. Does. Just in time, caught at the 35-yard line by Jamie Asher. Dropped by Jamie Sharper immediately. But a pickup of 4. Stevan Moore right in the face of Gus Perrott. He had to get rid of it.
And motion again, you see Jamie Asher, 84. This time Perrott goes to the inside. There's a man untouched there, Stevan Moore. You mentioned it, 27. That will certainly make you throw it shorter. And even on the next play, you can kind of short arm the ball if you're the quarterback.
Third down. Asher comes out in motion. They go with a run straight ahead. Not enough. 30-yard line, but 2 yards shy of the first down. Do you go with a field goal attempt from here, or do you go for the first down?
Actually, he's going to take the points. I think that's the right choice.
I don't know. That's a tough kick in the rain from there. All kinds of strange things can happen.
Yeah. Well, Perrott is also the holder, so you send the kicker out here, but anytime you got the quarterback as the holder, you're never really sure it's a kick.
49 yards on the attempt. Scott Blanton. Now his longest this year is 41. But the sidebar note, you arrest Gus Perrott is the holder. Here's the kick. Flag is down, and it just edges across the crossbar, but there was a flag fly.
Well, look, if it's on the defense, it's a first down. If it's on the offense, he can't kick it 5 yards further.
No, it's not there.
Offside. Defense, number 98. Penalty declined. Field goal, good.
They take the point.
Absolutely. No. They don't take the points. They take the first down.
No, he said penalty decline. Field goal is good. That was the announcement.
Wait a minute. The captain made the wrong choice.
Well, that's what Dale Hammer just announced. Now, Barat said, wait a minute.
Barat is the captain, the offensive captain, and they want the first down.
Dangerous to always dangerous though to take points off of the scoreboard. That's a bad omen. John Madden told me that.
The penalty for the offside has been accepted. 5 yards, first down.
Did you see Norv on the sideline?
What?
Well, it's been so long since the offense of the Redskins has threatened the Ravens in any way, shape, or form that this is an obvious choice. And now there's personnel late getting on the field. Looks like Henry Ellard was late coming on, and in his place will be James Thrash, a young receiver, as the drive stays alive.
25-yard line of Baltimore, first down Washington. Score remains the same, 17-7, the margin 10. Sweep to the right side, then the cutback. Successful to the 15-yard line for Stephen Davis. Deron Jenkins with the tackle at the 15. That should be another first down. And the Redskins, perhaps with that long field goal that made it over the bar and the penalty, have life again.
Nice cutback here. You're right, Charlie. Something to chew on here for the offense. Nice cutback here by Davis. Breaks that tackle there. Almost gets through. Jennings finally does get him down on the ground. And it's been a long time since the Redskins on the plus side of the 50.
They mark it second down and 1. That'll be the lean should take it to the 15-yard line to break that imaginary first down plane. Should be the first down for Stephen Davis. Ray Lewis with the tackle. Moving on the 5-minute mark, time remaining. We're in the third quarter in the rain at Jack Kent Cooke Stadium. In case you just joined us, this stadium is absolutely fantastic. This is the nicest facility that I've ever been in, particularly from a broadcast standpoint. Plenty of room, great angle. Feel like you're part of the game.
Yes, you do. All of that is true.
It worked once, twice. It'll work a third time for Davis, and it does. A straight shot inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line. It'll be second down and a couple for the first down.
Well, now the Redskins running game can put a little pressure on the Ravens defense, which for the most part, the Ravens defense has had the day off. The Ravens offense has functioned so perfectly until this second half started.
Redskins offense well rested.
Well rested, yes.
Davis now 14 carries, 66 yards. This time for Davis, he will lose about 3. There was nothing there. Back to the 10-yard line, so it will be third down.
Ball, the running back is caught from behind. You see Burnett fire down the line of scrimmage. Nothing at the point of attack. That play was just flat blown up. Just completely blown up.
We have an injury timeout. A Redskin is hurt. That is Davis. Brian Mitchell was coming in for him just a moment ago, but he was shaken up on that last play. We have exactly 4 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Baltimore got out in front first in the ball game by a score of 7-0. The Redskins came back then to tie it 7-7 in the first quarter. That was Mitchell's 61-yard kickoff return that set up a 39-yard touchdown drive. Then Bam Morris capped a 20-play, 78-yard drive with a score to make it 14-7 at the half. Matt Stover has had a 34-yard field goal in the second half, and that will bring you up to date on the scoring. But Davis has been the workhorse out of the backfield for the Redskins, as Terry Allen, with that knee injury, is not available today, nor is Michael Westbrook, the great wide receiver, who also has a knee injury. So with all of that in the mix, we go back to the play. Barat to throw. Pass is complete at the 4-yard line. That will be just enough for the first down. Henry Ellard grabbed it, fell forward. They will mark it almost to the 3. It will be first down and goal to go for the Redskins.
And you can see a lot different Gus Frerotte here. Ellard's running a crossing route, and I think he's more of a clear-out guy than anything else. There's the veteran. Kind of slows down, shuffles through that opening in the zone, makes himself available for the quarterback. It looked to me like Gus was going to run, and Ellard, that little shuffle, he knows he just passed the linebacker where the next one is. Big completion.
Davis back in the lineup. First down, goal to go, 3-yard line. Davis to the right side. He is going to be dropped at the 5 by Michael McCrary. That's the second time in this drive that McCrary has gotten him. It'll be second down, goal to go.
From the backside. McCrary running it down from the backside.
Asher and Shepard will now come into that offensive set, and Mitchell comes back in.
Here's McCrary right here. And you see that they try to pull an offensive lineman up through there. McCrary follows him right straight to the ball and makes the tackle, and Davis comes out again, Charlie.
Mitchell has replaced him, has more speed at the tailback spot. Little dump off to Mitchell. He's got it. High steps into the end zone for the touchdown. Brian Mitchell. 6 yards, capping the 60-yard drive. Remember, started at the 40.
You're going to see kind of a little pick right here. Motion goes away, draws one man, and then Mitchell's just out here in the flat with nobody around him whatsoever. Now the receivers, they go down and just try to make contact. But of course the Ravens will say, that's a pick, that's illegal. Extra point is good.
Redskins pull within 3. 17-14, 2:17 left in the third. In that 60-yard touchdown drive, a 4th down penalty. Take 3 points off of the board. That was there with the field goal.
It worked.
It did.
It's an easy choice for North Turner, as much as his offense has struggled today.
Here's the kick. This one will go out of bounds, so the Ravens will have the ball at their 40-yard line. The NFL season extends to the World Wide Web on NFL.com, the league's official website. Visit NFL.com for all of the scores and stats, including a complete roundup of this weekend's scores in action, and chat live with some of the NFL's biggest stars. That's at NFL.com. What do we have here? Bam Morris, 114 yards and a touchdown, 23 carries. In the second half, though, 4 carries, only 11 yards. Testaverde, 9 of 19, 137 yards. And a touchdown. Second half, 2 of 16 to 17 yards. Redskins defense much more effective, making some adjustments. Here's the screen. Knocked down. Nice play. Mark Boutte. Let's go to New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Charlie, in Buffalo, Denver up 13-0. Todd Collins to Andre Reed, drops a short touchdown pass. On the very next play, Collins' short flip out in the flat, bobble, picked off by Keith Traylor, 62 yards and a touchdown. The Bills, instead of being down 13-7, are down 20-0. Van Pelt has replaced Collins at quarterback for Buffalo, Charlie.
Greg, and as those of you that follow the National Football League know that the Broncos couldn't get out of Denver because of that huge storm that they had, and didn't get into about midnight, I guess. Didn't get a lot of sleep. Meanwhile, Van Morris is back in action. He'll pick up 10 yards on the play. The Broncos may say, we want to go in late all the time if this happens.
Yeah, well, some may want to say that. I don't think most would. Again, here is the matchup that's just killed the Washington Redskins, relying on the Ravens' big offensive line. And Bam Morris now over 20 carries on the afternoon, continues to rumble. And Mike Nolan and his Redskin defense are kind of wilting under the pressure of this running game of the Ravens.
First down, 50-yard line. Bam Morris, what else is new? The yardage is 8 yards.
Well, again, you know, the Ravens come in with the #1 passing game in the NFL. And North Turner said to me before the game, he said, look, frankly, I hope the Ravens come in here and act like the #1 passing game in the NFL. Throw it. I don't want them running against this. Well, they have run all day long against this Redskin defense.
Redskins have the #1 pass defense in the National Football League. We look for that confrontation, but this has been Bam Morris against the Redskins. And so far, Bam Morris is winning. He wins again with the first down.
Now, Charlie, the Redskins' #1 ranking in the pass defense is going to remain intact. In the meantime, they're going to be bruised and bloodied by the running game of the #1 passing offense in the NFL.
Meanwhile, Bam Morris has carried the ball 26 times for 139 yards. We'll mention again, as we did earlier, prior to this ballgame, he had carried it only 45 times. 26 for 139 yards. And at least as we come to the close of the third quarter, he's not weakening, but he just can't get to the outside here. And he is pulled down by Ken Harvey and Darrell Green. That is the end of the third quarter. So we have 3 in the book. We've got 1 to go. The margin is 3. Back after these messages from your local station. This is Charlie Jones, Bob Trumpy. We're at Jack Kent Cooke Stadium in Washington as we get set now for the fourth quarter. The rain letting up just a little bit, but we've had it all. Baltimore at the Washington 35-yard line. First down. Excuse me, second down. All the time in the world, Bam Morris has it. Shakes off a would-be tackler. Fights his way back to the 31-yard line.
Shakes off.
Oh,
Shakes off a tackler.
Oh.
I mean, he absolutely dropped the middle linebacker, number 50, Derek Smith. You're going to see him release out here, and Vinny Testaverde is very late finding him. But the most important part of the play is after he catches it. Now watch Derek Smith. I'll tackle this guy. Oh, no, I won't.
He shook him off.
He shook him off. Yes, he sure did. And Smith is on the sideline.
Third down and 6. Here comes the blitz. Straight shot. He's got it. Pass is up, and it is incomplete, but a flag is flying. Let's see which way they're going to call it.
Dishman was not looking back at the ball.
All right.
It's easy to figure out right now.
Dishman trying to argue the call.
It is against Chris Dishman.
Michael Jackson, the intended receiver. It is against Dishman. Well, that's a costly penalty, too.
And it's a perfect call by the Ravens. Bump and run. It was a blitz coverage. You see Jackson goes right by Dishman. Dishman's got his hand on him, not looking back at the ball. Good call.
You're right.
Chris Dishman has no complaint whatsoever.
No.
He knew he was beat.
Turned inside of him, never looked back. So spot the ball at the 6-yard line. First down, goal to go.
There's that formation. It just killed Washington. Eric Green, bottom of the screen.
Fumble. Lost the ball. Redskins may have it. They say they do. Celebrations on both sides. Meanwhile, some more officials are going to come in to help sort it out.
Sure, they may find Sonny Jurgensen at the bottom of that pile.
There's no telling what you might find if they wait that long.
No telling.
No, I just checked. Sonny's still in his broadcast booth. We have not had an official decision yet.
Yeah, 2 guys down there fighting over it.
Oh, yeah. This is way too long. Some type of decision should have been made. Baltimore is saying they have it. What do the officials say? Officials are still fighting for the ball.
Ravens maintain possession. When Vinny goes back to set up, the thing just slips right out of his hand. Bam Morris runs right into him, and the thing is just knocked right out of Vinny Testaverde's hand. I have no idea who recovers it.
Well,
but
Bam Morris was the last man up.
Watch Bam Morris. He's trying to pick help with the blitzer right here. Knocks the ball right out of Vinny Testaverde's hand, and the ball every time today has bounced the Ravens' way, hasn't it?
Yes, it is. I don't know if he got it or not, but Van Morris was the last man on the ground.
Sure, we don't know. We'll give him credit. Who's going to argue with it?
Ernest Biner now has replaced Van Morris in the offensive set. 3 wide, Biner the remaining back. Second down, goal to go. The draw to Biner. Biner goes to the 7-yard line. It'll be third down and goal to go at the 7. Marcus Patton with the tackle.
A nice little draw play here to Ernest Biner, who used to wear that Redskin uniform. And Ernest getting up there in years, 35 years old, but still a quality running back, willing to be a backup, one of the most well-conditioned athletes. And you can see he hasn't carried the ball much for the Ravens so far this year.
Third down, goal to go. Here's Bam to the 5. They push him back at the 5-yard line. Defense led by Marcus Patton out of UCLA. He has played every single down on defense since joining this ball club in 1995. Well, that's a lot.
That's impressive for a middle linebacker.
Whoa.
You know, look, they don't get enough yardage here for the first down, and Marchibroda quickly sends on the field goal team. No question in his mind that he's going to go for the 3 points. But again, this offense has dominated Washington. I'm surprised at this choice. I really am.
14-yard line. 24-yard attempt by Matt Stover.
Now time expires. The 25-second clock expires.
But that's all right. We have a white towel flying. There's some tempers that are still, and it may be going back to that fumble that was recovered by Baltimore. There's a lot of pushing and shoving. There's the delay of game.
Testaverde is out on the field. Ernest Biner is out on the field. I'm still shocked at that choice. The fourth and so short to go for the field goal, and the choice was made quickly.
Well, it's fourth down and goal to go. It's at the 6-yard line. But and if you don't, then you have them backed up too. That's a good point.
Well, I don't know. As much damage as they've done, what do I know? You know, I wouldn't have sent them out there that quick. I'd have thought about it for a minute.
19-yard line, 29-yard field goal attempt. He is hit from the 34 short from 49 yards away. This will come back through, starts it at the right upright, brings it back through for 3 more for the Baltimore Ravens.
And here we go with another argument.
This is the Battle of the Beltway.
First time these two teams have met as Baltimore-Washington. Yeah. Where did all this animosity come from? Talk shows?
Neighborhood.
Oh, neighborhood.
Okay. We'll step aside. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. 16 left to go in the ball game as Baltimore kicks the ball away. Ryan Mitchell on the return. Stumbles a bit, regains his feet. Nice return. He's a true battler. Out across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. Coming up next to most of these NBC stations, Game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. Mark Brunell and the Jaguars head to Pittsburgh to face Cordell Stewart of the Steelers in a battle for first place of the AFC Central. That's Game 2 of our doubleheader, and that is coming up next here on NBC.
All right, now there is a little momentum on the Washington Redskins side. The defense holding the Baltimore Ravens to just 3 points. And the last time Gus Brought and his group were on the field, they got the ball in the end zone. So let's see if they can keep the momentum alive here, Charlie.
Redskins start from their own 36-yard line. He's got a whistle. It'll be a false start as flags come flying, called against somebody in that offensive line, nullifying the play.
First and 10 is a lot easier than first and 15. When are players in the NFL going to learn that? You know?
I want to bring you up to date on some numbers on Brian Mitchell, number 30, who you just saw as a return man. First, we'll go back, and that's what the call is right there. 140 yards kickoff returns, no punt returns, rushed for 5, receiving 16. He has combined yardage of 161. He has led that category the last 3 years, becoming only the 3rd man in NFL history to do that, joining Jim Brown and Gale Sayers.
Yeah, you know, and the Redskins have needed every inch of that 160 yards that he's gotten today.
Ball back at the 31-yard line, first down and 15.
They're fixing the referee's microphone.
Meanwhile, Jermaine Lewis, and we were going to keep tabs on him because actually leading by more than 120 yards, that combined yardage, leading Mitchell coming in to the ball game, but he has totaled only 67 yards today, 13 yards punt return, receiving 48 and rushing 6. So not really that sparkling an afternoon for Jermaine Lewis. But he does have the lead with the Ravens by a score of 20-14 with 12:04.
Jermaine on the sideline,
trying to stay dry and warm. Are you sure that was Jermaine?
Positive.
We are absolutely positive.
Positive.
Close and dear friend.
I do see Stephen Davis, number 48, in the huddle for the Redskins. But he keeps swinging his arm around like it's not really completely healthy. Came out in the last series, and if they ever needed a healthy running back in this situation, this is the time. It was his left shoulder, and it looked a little stiff. So, you know, with Terry Allen hurt now, the clock stops again. Another hesitation.
And the officials call for a quick conference.
Please reset the clock to 12:05. 12:05.
Resetting of the clock that they caught. It was down to 11:56.
North Turner would be in favor of that. We're going to need every second.
Every second count.
Yes.
First down and 15 for the Redskins. 12:05 left to go in the ballgame. They trail by 6. Brought a little play action. Dumps it off underneath. Pass is complete. Larry Boyd, the fullback, will ramble for close to 30 yards on the play. Deron Jenkins finally got him.
Boy, comes through, and nobody goes with him. Not a receiver they go to a great deal, but anytime you have rookie linebackers, 55 Sharper down there in the middle, you can fool them a little bit. Sharper is expecting to run, but instead it's a good play action fake. And Bowie gets it down the field. That's a huge lift to this Washington offense.
I exaggerated. It was 22 yards. First down. And remember, that was first and 15. Here is Davis. This is first and 10. He's not going to dent that as we go to New York. An update from Greg Gumbel.
All right, Charlie, back to Buffalo we go. Remember the touchdown pass Andre Reed dropped? He makes amends here in the fourth quarter. Alex Van Pelt down the middle, 27 yards. Reed holds on in the end zone, and Buffalo dents the scoreboard. The Broncos lead it 20-7 with plenty of time to play in regulation, Charlie.
1:07 left to go in that ball game. We have 10:53 and counting here. Second down and 10. Baltimore, 47-yard line. Three-step drop, fires, diving grab, incomplete. Leslie Shepard, who has a touchdown in the ball game for the Redskins, could not pull this one in.
That's a bad throw by Gus Frerotte. You do not want to stretch that receiver out on those quick slants. He's had some clear misses today, Charlie. That was one of them. Again, three-step drop. This is one of the things that quarterbacks and coaches practice all day, and you don't want to do that. You want to throw it right into the receiver's body. That's not a reception that you expect to go for 70 or 80 yards.
Third down. Same play. This one a little low and away.
Well, now there was contact. Leslie Shepard on the defensive back. He had to get by him. I don't think he saw that ball released from the quarterback's hand. Here's the matchup. Jumps inside. See the ball already halfway there. Should have been caught. Should have been caught. First one on Frerotte, second one on Shepard.
How hard is it to catch a ball when you pick it up halfway to you?
It can be very difficult. That's not the excuse. That ball should have been caught. He looked back there long enough.
Raven player shaken up. Injury timeout has been called. He is at the left 39-yard line. It is Eugene Daniel, 14-year veteran, age 36 from LSU. Both these ball clubs have some players that are getting a bit long in the tooth, you might say.
Yeah, that's true. And Eugene Daniel was with the Indianapolis Colts. He's suffering from a pair of pulled hamstrings. And actually, they're pulling up his foot right here. He must be having leg cramps.
We'll step aside. We'll be back in just a moment. Pro Bowler Matt Turk will kick it away. His older brother Dan is the snapper for the Redskins. Jermaine Lewis, the exciting return man and receiver, sets up shop at the 10-yard line. Is that where the Rolling Stones were? Is that the reason it's so dark down there?
Yeah, that's where the stage was set right there.
Huge stage, you can tell. Good kick. Ooh, this one may just be down in the field of play. Not quite. Touchback will bring it out to the 20-yard line. With it all on the line, Cleveland's Omar Vizquel slammed the door on the Marlins.
Bouncing ball toward the hole. Vizquel stops it. Throws from the outfield grass. What a play! Oh, man.
Later tonight, the ultimate, a World Series Game 7. You can watch history here on NBC. The Indians and the Marlins. Be with us.
I agree with Costas. What a play.
I wanted Enberg to call it. Oh, my. 20-yard line. First down, Ravens. Guess what? Bam Morris to the outside. He is a load, isn't he? Whoa.
Yeah, and I think the encouraging thing is here is that last week against Miami, he looked leg weary. And to this point in this ball game, and maybe it's because it's cool and it's raining, he has not looked leg weary at all.
No.
Around the corner, and then who's the unlucky safety that comes up there right in front of him?
Jesse Campbell.
He doesn't want to do that again, Jesse.
He gets bammed, as they say.
Yeah. I'll do one of those a game. That's it.
Morris, 6 feet even, 245 pounds, collegiate ball at Texas Tech. All the time in the world. See the right two checkers in the novel. Now a fumble. Redskins will have the ball at the 25-yard line.
Charlie, that ball was poked away by Greg Jones, recovered by Marcus Patton. Jones did that intentionally. Here's Jones right here. Charlie, you're right. He had all day to throw.
Yeah.
Orlando Brown, 77, blocks him forever. But Vinny just loses track. Now watch. Just puts his arm around there to swipe the ball away. 53, Marcus Patton recovers. First turnover of the day.
Baltimore 25-yard line, first down, Washington trailing by 6. Front, pass is complete underneath the cover. Whoa. Larry Boyd, the fullback, upended, cartwheel, comes down, ball jarred loose, he recovers it. Redskins retain possession. Nice play.
Yeah, Jamie Sharper, I believe, was out momentarily when he hit Bowie and cartwheeled him. That was a collision, but both are up and ready to play the next play.
19-yard line, gain of 6, 2nd and 4. Rain continues to fall. Boy, straight shot. A miniature Bam Morris, 15-yard line. He could pick up the first down.
John, this is rather remarkable. You know, with Terry Allen out, when Terry Allen's here, he'll get it 9 out of 10 times. But with him hurt, they've had to go with a combination. And Stephen Davis has got the majority of the carries, but suddenly Bowie, a receiver, blocker, and now carrier for the Redskins, spreading it around.
First down, Redskins. 15-yard line. Play action fake. Little touch, kick, airborne, incomplete.
Boy, is he lucky.
Oh, yeah. There are all kinds of Ravens lurking in the end zone.
Yeah, he was trying to get the ball to Asher, the tight end. Actually, there was a receiver.
Ray Lewis, I believe, tipped it, didn't he?
Yeah, there was a receiver short that he could have thrown to. Somebody does a heck of an athletic job. It was Ray Lewis that tips the ball up in the air. No, it's Asher. No, it's 55 who gets the ball up in the air.
Jamie Sharper.
Almost intercepted. Oh, that's taking a chance with the ball.
2nd and 10, 15-yard line.
Fumble. Goodness. I mean, Gus Frerotte breaks away from the center, drops the ball right on the ground.
It'll be 3rd down.
Norm is saying, come on, what else can happen here?
What else could go wrong? 3rd down and 10, 15-yard line.
Again, he just pulls away from the center without the ball.
7:30 and counting. Time remaining in the ball game. Redskins trailing by 6. This one is underneath to Jamie Asher. Asher's inside the 10. He'll still be 3 or 4 yards shy of the 1st down. Kim Herring with the tackle. It's 4th down.
Again, North Turner with a tough choice. He wants to know exactly what the yardage is. 3rd and 3 or 4. And he's calling a play into Gus Frerotte. And he's already decided to go for it.
I like that choice.
And of course, Testaverde with the fumble, just not protecting the football. Timeout, Ravens.
It will be 4th down and 3. 6:46. That's all the time left. We'll be back in a moment. The Redskins have decided now they will go with the field goal attempt with Scott Blanton. Now he has hit one today from 29 yards out. But remember, there was the offsides, and they took it, and they took the points off, and then went on for the touchdown. So this is, in reality, his 2nd attempt. The other one is just kind of erased from the sands of time.
From the sands of time, yes, okay. It's a race.
It's been a long day.
And always a reminder that Gus Ferrotte's the holder on these field goals, so you think it's a field goal attempt.
From 26 yards out. It is. And it is good from 26 yards away. The Redskins have 17, the Ravens 20. The margin goes back to 3. A moment ago, the Baltimore offense on the sideline. It is now up to them. They lead by 3. They need to either score or kill 6 minutes and 42 seconds. First things first. Scott Blanton to kick it away. High and short, taken on the run by Jermaine Lloyd. Lewis will return in front of his family and friends across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
Vinny Testaverde takes the field, and so far the sledgehammer in this, there's Frerotte on the sideline having his hand iced, the left hand, not his throwing hand, but the left hand seemed to have been bruised. You saw Vinny Testaverde walk out with the #1 passing offense in the league, but his sledgehammer has been
Bam Morris. 29 carries, 147 yards, and you expect him to carry here, and he does. He goes to the outside, and he goes for 8 more yards to his total.
Wow.
So that's 155 yards, 30 carries, both now career highs, and he has scored a touchdown. Literally has carried this ball game on his shoulders for the Ravens.
Absolutely altered the defensive philosophy of the Redskins in the first half. Mike Nolan and his group have not been able to slow him down much. It is the worst nightmare that North Turner could have imagined as the head coach of the Redskins. The team coming in here, #1 in the past, is running the ball right down the Redskins' throat.
2nd down and a yard. Bam Morris has the first down. He has 6 more yards to his total. Let's go to Greg Gumbel for an update.
All right, Charlie, at the Meadowlands, Danny Cannell to Chris Callaway, the duo that won the overtime game against the Lions. Look at Callaway. Steps his way 23 yards to the 1 to set up a Tyrone Wheatley touchdown. 2-point conversion failed, but the Giants are up by 1. 8.5 to play in regulation, Charlie.
That's the story of the Bengals?
Yeah, pretty much so. They need those 58-minute games, you know, not the 60-minute. They can't win the 60-minute game.
50-yard line, first down. Bam Morris has 2 more. 32 carries, 164 yards. Mark Boutte makes the tackle. Clock moves to 4:53 and counting. Check of the ticker. The other scores going by.
Charlie, as we look at Ted Marchibroda, they're 3-4 at this point in the season, come in with a 3-game losing streak. But if they can get Bam Morris to run like this every week, with this 3 wide receiver set and a #1 passing offense, it's a potent bunch. I mean, and the 4-game suspension of Bam Morris at the beginning of the season certainly hurt Baltimore, but if he can do this, come close to this every week, you'll have a lot of defenses wondering, what do we do to stop this guy?
Second down and 8. He'll go to the 43-yard line. That's 5 more yards. It will be third down and 3. 169 yards. Now up to 33 carries. It's the Bam Morris story.
Totally. And you can see these big guys just pushing and shoving, doing the good zone blocking. You don't see anybody really flying around there for the Redskins defense because they've been on the field most of the day.
From an offensive lineman standpoint, is it fun when you've got a back that's having a day like this?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're just looking across the line of scrimmage at the guy you've been blocking all day, and he's checking the clock. He's looking for a seam. He's trying to get out of here. Don't hit me again. And now Vinny takes a timeout. Why? I haven't the slightest idea.
Well, I think he may not have liked the defense that they were in. 3:33 left to go. The margin is 3. We've seen this afternoon in Washington shades of days gone by.
Yeah,
what does this remind you of?
Right. I was just thinking that these Redskins fans in RFK a lot of times saw John Riggins and the Hogs run over opponents the way Bam Morris and the Ravens and a yet unnamed offensive line are doing this afternoon.
I would say good. Good. It's a nice name for them. Oh! Is it intercepted? No, it's incomplete. Darryl Pounds, I think he was surprised the ball was even thrown.
Well, what had happened was Jermaine Lewis started the pattern, then stopped. And Pound was watching Lewis, not watching the ball. See, Teddy's saying, keep running, son, keep running. So the gamble pays off, and it does look like the Redskins are going to get the ball back.
Greg Montgomery kicking to Brian Mitchell. Mitchell, as we mentioned earlier, an outstanding return man. Here comes the pressure. He gets it away. It's taken at the 5-yard line to the 10, and then he's out of bounds as he simply runs out of room. Now let's take a look at the Miller Time game summary.
Yeah, to this point, #1 passing game in the NFL, fair numbers. Here is the story. Absolutely, totally taken over by Bam Morris. But trailing by 3, the Redskins have an opportunity.
I have a question to go back. Why that third down pass? Why not Bam Morris one more time?
Well, I think what you would do as an offense coordinator is play the percentages. They're expecting Bam Morris will catch him up the line of scrimmage, hit the little high percentage slant, first down, we keep going. You take those gambles.
14-yard line, first down.
Oh,
right through the hands of the intended receiver. That's Stephen Davis.
But thrown low.
Very low.
And Gus Frerott's mechanics today have not been as good as I've seen them. Not even close.
Would that hurt left hand bother him any?
No, I don't think so. That's a bad excuse, but he throws kind of stiff-legged. And this has not been a good throwing day.
Maybe he's cold. It's wet, cold.
What North Turner told me before the game, he is a great thrower in the rain.
Yeah, that's right. Second down 10. Here comes a blitz. One is picked up, second isn't, rolled away from it, third man gets it. Ray Lewis, the leading tackler. Second year out of Miami.
I can tell you this about Gus Frerotte. He's not going to get away from a lot of pass rush. He does avoid Boulware, 58, and others. Gus is not a runner. He's not pretty when he gets the ball in his hands. And Ray Lewis, the Raven linebackers, young and great speed, very active, and it pays off there.
3 sacks for the Ravens. Third down 14, 2:47 and counting, time remaining. could be the key play of the ball game.
Nobody's moving for it.
It is incomplete. There was a flag dropped at the 11-yard line. He was past the line of scrimmage when he made the throw.
Loss of down.
Henry Ellard. Intended receiver. The 10-yard line was the line of scrimmage. He was about a half a step, maybe a full step in front of it.
So that's a no-choice penalty. Loss of down, too.
Illegal forward pass. Number 12 of the offense. 5 yards. The spotter pass. Loss of down. 4th down.
Ball will go back to the 6-yard line.
Charlie, it's a good pickup. It's just a 3-man rush by the Baltimore Ravens. Great coverage down the field. And he is at least his whole body across the 10-yard line. Easy call to make. And an ugly series with the game on the line for the Redskins.
Matt Turk to kick it away. Jermaine Lewis, the return man. He's at the 50-yard line. Oh, good kick. Good kick for the Pro Bowler. Fair catch. Taken at the 47-yard line. That's in the rain. It is cold. A downpour the whole ball game. Uniforms are wet, and a kick like that is an outstanding effort.
And Ted Marchibroda is telling us, players, get off the field. We don't need to fight and argue. Look at the scoreboard. We're leading 20-17. Don't start something stupid.
We're up by 3, and we have Bam Morris. What more do you need?
Get over here.
Coming up next on most of these NBC stations, Game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. Mark Brunell and the Jaguars head to Pittsburgh to face Cordell Stewart and the Steelers in a battle for first place of the AFC Central. That's Game 2 of our doubleheader, and that's coming up next. And there is Bam Morris. 33 carries, 169 yards, and he's not through yet.
Both personal bests.
Baltimore will start at their own 47-yard line, first down. Ravens leading by 3, 20-17.
Wow, look at that.
Oh, there's a comparison. He's more than 100 yards more than their entire rushing offense.
Well, now the Redskins, who were 3-0 at home here, have now dropped to 4-0, and a strange part of that record is that they are 4-1 with Terry Allen. They are going to be 0-3 without him, but it was the defense's failure today, not the offense's failure, if the Ravens continue to hold on to win this game.
First down, Bam Morris to the 50-yard line. 34 carries, 172 yards. Timeout, Redskins. Jesse Campbell and Stanley Richard making the last tackle as we go to New York for an update. Greg.
All right, Charlie, don't count those Buffalo Bills out yet. Alex Van Pelt, his second touchdown pass of the afternoon, 31 yards. Quinn Early leaping catch in the end zone with the extra point. Denver's lead is down to 3 at 20-17, approaching 2 minutes to play in regulation, Charlie.
So maybe the Broncos aren't so thrilled playing on very little sleep, come to think of it.
Yeah, let's reconsider. Showing up late with no sleep and playing the Buffalo Bills in Orchard Park, New York.
But it is kind of a, when we talked about it yesterday, the Notre Dame game, that the bad weather was you want to get out of Denver for the good weather in Buffalo.
Right, looking forward to the good weather in Buffalo.
Second down and 7, the ball at the 50-yard line, 2:20. That is the time remaining in this game. Next week, Baltimore will be at the New York Jets, and they're on the road for 3 weeks in a row. Washington is at Chicago. Second and 7. Van Morris. They may give him a yard, and then they may not give him a yard. Let's not. Third down and 7. So to this point, 35 carries, 172 yards. Mentioning again career highs. Timeout, 2:14 left in the ball game. Redskins could well come up with another opportunity, and remember, they trail only by 3. Scott Blanton is their field goal kicker. Then you're looking at the possibility of overtime.
Sure, it's possible. You're right, and Washington has used their timeouts correctly.
Yes, they have. Good clock management.
Right, the defense has to stop the clock to save time for the offense. So third down, any third down conversion here, though, by the Ravens, game over.
Right.
But if they can keep them from converting this third down into a first down, yeah, the Redskins are going to have a few snaps left.
Then they'll have the 2-minute warning working for them. The clock will stop again at 2 minutes. Then it would be fourth down. So this becomes key. They do. They stop Van Moores, and he almost gets away. But they stop him at the 46-yard line. He has 3 more yards, 175 in 36 carries. We're at the 2-minute mark. It will be fourth down. The Redskins will have one final opportunity. Cold, gray Sunday afternoon in our nation's capital. Van Moores has rushed 36 times for 176 yards, both career high, has the touchdown, and he has carried this game on his shoulders.
Yeah, I'm more impressed with the 36 carries than I am the 176 yards. You know that? Seriously.
And remember, he had only 45 carries all season coming in. That all season we're in, the last 3 games, had a 4-game suspension at the beginning of the year. Brian Mitchell is the return man for Greg Montgomery's catch. Pressure, gets it off. Goes out of bounds at the 10-yard line. So the Redskins now are 90 yards away from the end zone. The reality is they need to get to the 25, in the neighborhood of the 25 to 30-yard line. And Gus Frerotte, who has had an atrocious afternoon, 14 of 27, 158 yards.
He had some drops, but he's also had some clear misses, and it's been a while, Charlie, think about it, in the second half since he's really thrown the ball crisply. He's thrown a lot into the ground, stretched out some receivers, so somehow North Turner's got to call the right combination of plays here to get Gus firing the way he generally can.
He starts from the 10-yard line and has 1 minute and 52 seconds to do it. Steps forward, throws downfield. Good pass right on target, 33-yard line. Henry Ellard pulls this one in. Now, here come the Redskins.
That was thrown with authority.
Yes. "22 yards on the play, first down." Same play, again, juggled, held on. 50-yard line, Henry Ellard. Did he have it? They'll bring it back.
Bounced right off his hands.
Not Frerodte's fault.
No,
Two good passes.
That was right on the money. It is absolutely the same pattern, no question about it. Just a little curl in. Bam, just reject. Like those, his shirt's made of concrete.
Redskins do have a timeout remaining, and the Ravens also have a timeout remaining. 2nd and 10. Prevent defense. The screen against it to Mitchell. He'll look for the sideline. Up the sideline, out of bounds. He'll stop the clock. And as we stop the clock here, we go to New York. Greg Gumbel has an update for us.
All right, Charlie, at the Meadowlands, bad news for Redskins fans and for Dallas fans. The Cowboys are losing, Redskins losing. The Giants, Tyrone Wheatley, his 2nd touchdown of the day. And the Giants grab a 29-21 lead on the Bengals as they approach 2 minutes to play in regulation. Charlie.
Thank you, Greg. How about those Giants? What a turnaround from last year.
Jim Fossil's done an outstanding job with that football. That's a great defense. Giants have a terrific defense.
3rd down and 4, 39-yard line. 3-man rush. Frerotte throws. Goes to his tight end, Jamie Asher. He's got the first down.
Late flag. Very late flag.
Back at the 34-yard line, a holding call against the Redskins. This could be the ball game.
That was a very late flag thrown by the referee.
They were out to the 46-yard line. Dale Hammer.
Number 73 the offense. 10 yards. Still 3rd down.
That's Darrell Ashmore.
Here's Ashmore. Just a 4-man rush by the Ravens.
3rd down.
You just kind of throw him down, grab a hold of him. Yeah, you're going to have to act a little more innocent than that. Throw him down, fall on top of him.
So 3rd down, 14, 29-yard line. Caller Mountain to Clyde. Pass is incomplete. Jamie Asher, intended receiver. It'll be 4th down and 14.
But no touch on that throw whatsoever.
Not at all.
Just rifled it right at Jamie Asher.
I almost had the feeling as if the balloon collapsed with the holding penalty.
Yeah, it may have been because that was a good pickup. You're right.
They had the energy. They were out to the 46, and it was gone.
Oh, this has got to be a great call, doesn't it?
Ooh. 1 minute and 8 seconds left. 4th down and 14 just to stay in the ballgame.
3-man rush, 8 guys in coverage, Charlie.
Here is Mitchell underneath with blockers in front.
Didn't get it.
Didn't quite make it, but it was close. Ravens starting to celebrate that they have held, and they will take over on downs. It was 4th down and 14.
I think they are going to measure, though.
They want to just make it official. Hard to tell from here exactly where the football is.
Yeah, the official sideline markers near side over here on the Redskins bench, so they're going to bring the chains in. And just so there is no doubt in anyone's mind.
Good move.
This game is a game of inches, isn't it?
It always comes down to that. Whoa, hold it. Hold it.
They got it?
I don't know.
First down?
By the nose of the football.
Oh, my
Whoa.
goodness. Mark Broda was walking out on the field to basically walk over to North Turner and shake his hand. Oh, my goodness.
46 seconds left. It's not over till the fat lady starts humming. Wow. 42-yard line. First down. 40 seconds and the countdown is underway. Rod throws, and it is intercepted on the rebound. That is Ray Lewis with the interception, and that will seal the fate of the Redskins.
Through the hands of Brian Mitchell, off Benny Thompson, 37, and the interception is made.
It was dark and gloomy, a Raven afternoon. No question about it, led by Bam Morris.
Yeah, who is that knocking at my door?
Bam Morris. And here he is again.
Bam Morris. What a horrible way for this game to finish for the Redskins. They convert the 4th down, and then that was a very sloppy pass attempt by Gus Barat. I mean, he's not a runner, but it bounces right off the shoulders of Brian Mitchell, and Jeff Hostetler are there to help console Gus Barat. Not one of Gus's better days throwing the ball.
The Ravens, their record will go to 4-4. The Redskins, their record will also go to 4-4. Now just a kneel down is all that is needed to take the countdown and make it official. So in the rain at Jack Kent Cooke Stadium, the Baltimore Ravens, with Bam Morris in control for 176 yards, dominate the defense of the Washington Redskins. They didn't need the passing attack that's -- 1 in the National Football League. They did it on the ground the hard way.
Actually, it wasn't that hard, Charlie. It may from up here appear to be hard, but it was pretty easy pickings against this Washington Redskins defense for Bam Morris and the Ravens offense. And I feel bad for Gus Barat. He came off a bad performance last week down in Tennessee. This one's even worse.
We had the rain with us throughout the day. We will have more in the evening. Don't forget the second half of the doubleheader, leading us all to South Florida tonight, and Game 7 of the World Series. That's all here on NBC. Well, it's always great fun to come to the nation's capital. I love this city.
Even when it's gray.
Even when it's gray.
It's still pretty.
Yes, it is. So the matchup between the Baltimore Ravens, the Washington Redskins, who are almost neighbors, some 30 miles away, comes to a close here. And this is the man who closed the door and his coach, and congratulations from the two head coaches. Both really class men. I like them both. Bam Morris, 36 yards, 36 carries, 176 yards rushing, both career highs.
Yeah, the agony and the ecstasy there. Bam Morris celebrates, and Gus Barat on the sideline appear to me almost in tears.
Coming up next, the second half of our doubleheader, the Jaguars and the Steelers. For Bob Trumpy, I'm Charlie Jones. So long from Jack Kent Cooke Stadium. This is the NFL on NBC, home of the Super Bowl.